Yes, we're back with another rider, another episode. Today we have Tim in the house, and he is a founder, owner, runner of his own cricket firm. So we're just going to hear what he has to say. So nice to have you here today, Tim.
Thank you.
Okay, so why cricket?
So I've always had a passion for cricket. Always, played since I was the age of, day dot really, in the garden with my dad. And I always kind of watched the sport, so wanted to give back to the community. Became a coach in 2011, and so wanted to give back to the sport ever since really.
Was your dad a cricket player?
He did play, he played football through his school years, and so he kind of instilled it in me, and I kind of loved the game from the first day really.
Okay. So how long have you had your firm, and what's it called?
It's called Cricket Vision. We've been going nearly 10 years now, always been on the side for me, so running it through university and so on the side of a full-time job, but always wanted to keep it up because it's one of my passions really.
What is it about cricket that gives you that feeling that you need to do it?
I think it's just the game, especially with the Ashes on. We can see how exciting the game can be. All the 2020 different formats of the game that are coming out, IPL, and since I first started cricket myself, I've loved everything about it. I've loved the excitement. I've loved the ups and downs, and it's just been always been a passion. So. Wanted to do something in it as well from the business perspective and give back.
So some people say cricket's quite slow.
Sure.
What is it, training wise, that you have to do for cricket to become a good player?
I think it's really keeping the energy up, the tempo up, keeping it exciting and new for people, not doing the same regular drills and stuff every week. It's really keeping it new, keeping it fresh, and making sure everyone's really having a good time at first, and then those people who want to take a bit more seriously can have more kind of private coaching and one-to-one sessions where needed. I think keeping the tempo and energy up is probably the main thing, so that especially those who are joining and starting, actually see that there's energy in the game and it's not just slow like some people see Test match cricket has. Although personally that's probably one of my favourite formats of the game.
What age group do you focus on?
We focus all the way from kind of 6 to 17, and so we're trying to get into more of the academy process as well. So we're setting up a small academy in August at Rickmansworth. So we're trying to get more cricket in the year than we have done previously. So yeah.
Okay. Fitness wise, to become a good cricket player, is it like you need to be able to run long distance, bursts, like bomb bursts, like quick?
Yeah, I think there's definitely an aspect of fitness. You need to really be able to have kind of short bursts, when you're running for the ball to stop the boundary, etc. But yeah, I think it's always kind of paramount to keep your fitness up as you're playing the sport, especially if fielding and saving runs becoming more and more important these days.
And agility, do you get them doing yoga even though they're a young age, or a lot of stretching?
Yeah, stretching is super important. You don't stretch, easier to tear muscles and muscles and stuff. So we've always been, that's always been important to our coaching, to make sure that we're not just going off the. Just going off from the start. We need to stretch before and after sessions.
Minimise an injury.
Indeed.
Yeah. Okay. So your background, did you play national? Did you play county?
I played kind of district level, and then I played in the combined district side, which was essentially kind of county equivalent. So I played that up until the age of about 16, 17, and then moved to club cricket also since then.
If you could give any advice for a young person who's wants to get into the cricket industry, what would that be? Yeah,
so I would say it's sometimes frustrating to pick up when you start, but I think watching the game, especially the Ashes that have been going on this season, has been super interesting, exciting. Watching, having idols in the sport and mimicking them in a way. But I think the main thing really is to kind of, ideally go with some friends. I think it's super important to have, people you like and trust as well in the game. But also make sure you kind of get down to a local club. There's lots of opportunities now, like All Stars and Dynamos, that are easily set up for youngsters. But also, even if you're, kind of, in your teens or later on in life, 30s, 40s, 50s, there's never a bad time to kind of try out the sport and give it a bit of a go. And it doesn't always have to be serious. It can be a bit of fun, and that's where kind of my category of playing comes in really now, is sociable and having a bit of fun on the boundary and on the pitch as well.
Okay. You spoke about your idol. Who's your idol in cricket? Who did you grow up thinking, this is the guy, if I could play with anybody or be taught by anybody, this is the man?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think Andrew Flinter has always been kind of a person I've kind of looked up to in terms of the way he plays, his kind of dedication to the sport, and his mindset of being able to come back from kind of defeat numerous times and kind of get a win. And more recently, Ben Stokes has kind of proved that capability as well. I was at Lords the other day for the Ashes, and that was a spectacle that he put on. And I think it's a mindset of the game that becomes more important as you get more into the professional stage of life. But I think that's those two have been probably the ones that I would kind of look up to in terms of the mindset of the game.
Okay. You speak a lot about mindset. So like, I know many sports there's a psychological element, but it sounds like there's quite an extensive psychological element to cricket.
Yeah, definitely.
How does that work exactly?
I think it's mainly that there's lots of times where the confidence of the bowlers and the batsmen kind of overpower the game. So the first thing you need to try and do is try and get more confidence over than the bowler or the batsman, whatever you're doing. If you're bowling, and you need to try and outwit the batsman. I think especially in batting, and also bowling, really, it's kind of majority mindset, because that you kind of manifest a few things. If you think get out, normally you do get out. And I remember meeting Darren Goff, I think, once, and he said that try not to think in pink elephants. And then he asked me, what are you thinking about? And I said pink elephants. So when you're thinking about things, you're actually manifesting them in your mind. So that's kind of a key thing on the mindset front. And you speak of professionals being in the zone, and that's exactly what they're talking about in terms of not thinking about things that they don't want to happen to them.
Okay, that's really good. What have you learnt that you wish you knew when you had started in the cricket game?
I think when I went through the coaching course, I'm a qualified level 2 coach myself, and that actually points out a lot of stuff in my game. I think a lot of my coaches have said the same, that once you go through the coaching qualification, you do kind of realise things. And actually, one thing that I used to do when I was batting, which I see a lot of kids do as well these days, is step back as the bowler's running in, and that actually reduces. People will do it normally are quite strong on the offside, which is the side that you would hit when you're stepping back. So actually, it reduces the amount of shots you can hit on that side, and then it kind of reduces the amount of times that you can score runs, because you're then further away from those wider balls. So that's probably one of the key things that I've learned, and being still at the crease, keeping your head still when you're bowling, they're probably the key things that I've kind of learned.
Is that due to fear why people step back?
Normally is, especially when they're kind of getting into the cricket ball rather than softer balls when playing. That's something that is something quite common in kids, especially if they're progressing up to the cricket ball.
Talking about equipment, I understand cricket equipment can be quite expensive. Is there a need to have the best of every equipment, or can you just go and buy an Argos bat?
Yeah, I think at the start it's really mainly just getting enough kit to start. If you're a youngster playing softball, you only really need, sometimes you don't even need anything. A lot of the clubs have kit that people can use, like bats and balls, etc. But if you wanted your own, you're easy to get some cheap kit. Even if it's a plastic bat, that really gets you going. And then
is it?
If you want to get into the sport more than willow bat is more needed. But yeah, so definitely easy to get into. Don't necessarily need to have the kit. Most clubs do have kit that youngsters can. Obviously in the cricket ball, there's obviously more pads and helmets and stuff that you need.
Okay.
But again, some clubs do provide that kit if needed.
Where can people find you?
So you can find us online at cricketvision.co.uk. So we're trying to scale to become a platform where people can book essentially like an Uber, like I booked this taxi today. So making cricket more accessible. We mainly operate kind of Rickmansworth, which are our kind of main club, great club, and they run some great comp sessions there, and we're trying to help scale and expand that club as well. That was Langley, Bongden, etc. So definitely check us out, and it would be great to welcome you to the kind of Cricket Vision family.
Okay. And on social media, like, are you on TikTok, Instagram?
On Instagram, it's at CricketVision1. That's the number 1 at the end.
Do you want to spell that for us?
Yeah, so it's CRICKETVISION, and then the number 1 at the end. And that's our Twitter as well. It's now X, I think. It's grounded.
Okay.
But who knows how that will catch on. And then Facebook, we just /CricketVision, which is the same spelling.
Okay. Well, my last question is, what's the future for Cricket Vision?
So I think I have my full-time job in technology as well, which proves hard to balance the two. But I want to bring that experience into the cricketing world and make it more digital. Making it easier to access cricket coaches around the area in the local area. And if we can get to a world where cricket coaches can be more location independent, they can go to different places in the UK, maybe globally at some stage. Also on the coaching side, the main real outcome we want to see is accessibility to cricket, no matter what their background, making things as cheaply as possible, joining up people as we can. Private coaching is quite expensive, so how can we run small group sessions and make it cheaper for those individuals paying, and ensuring that we have that right balance between coaching and players. We also sponsor young cricketers to go into coaching at the early stage at 16, 17. So if anyone is interested or has a child who's interested in getting into coaching, then please do reach out, because we have that scheme as well, which has benefited a few the last few years.
Okay, well, thanks a lot for that. I will say I've interviewed about 3 or 4 Indian cricket players.
Sure.
And one was for their nationals.
Yeah.
And it just occurred to me that maybe your kind of Uber system of cricket could be franchised to a company in India. So you'll make a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, that would be great. So yeah, we'll see how the funding situation is. But yeah, that's the aim. That'd be fantastic.
Okay then. Thanks a lot, and we wish you well.
Thank you.
We hope that episode enhanced your life. We post an interview every day, as well as vlogging on our social media channels. Don't forget to subscribe to get our latest episode.